Well, this move somewhat expected, considering the fact that earlier this week the IMF downgraded their expectations for US economic growth by nearly a whole percentage point for this year, and for the global economy by half a percentage point. So looking at their European expectations, well, for this year they're expecting economic growth to be 0.8%, 1.2% for 2026. That is a 0.2% downgrade for both this year and next year compared to January's estimates. As you rightly mention, a major reason for this revision, US tariffs, trade tensions globally. The IMF saying that this leads to more uncertainty, tightening of financial conditions, warning that their downgrade could continue even further should these trade tensions worsen. Now, important to note that Valdis Dombrovskis, the European Commission's trade representative, is in Washington for a meeting with Scott Bessent, the US Treasury Secretary, with tariffs very much expected to be on the agenda. Addressing that issue at a press conference, the IMF representative stating that they hope these negotiations can be fruitful, saying that more trade essentially means more prosperity. While Europe is facing plenty of economic headwinds, they did say there are some areas for optimism. Inflation, for example, they expect to hit the benchmark rate of 2% in the second half of this year. Looking at Germany, the EU's largest economy, they say that public investment in things like infrastructure, things like defence, could yield GDP growth to the tune of around 0.1% this year, 0.2% next year as well. And when it comes to the sluggish growth we've seen in Europe over recent years, they say that Europe can still be competitive, but they warn that a major issue is startups just don't have conducive conditions here, and that is why so many, especially in the tech field, startups are moving to the United States. They say that what is required to generate more growth here in Europe is more access to venture capital for these startups and brewing industries to succeed.